No.
It's the vanilla.
Oh, I'm sure it
Or
is, yeah.
lemon, but
Vanilla.
Yeah,
Vanilla keeps
vanilla.
bugs, yeah.
vanilla. Yeah, the gnats are terrible. I
Oh.
took this to the back of my shirt. They don't touch me.
Oh, darn.
So there's gonna be a big sale on it.
Yeah.
There you
You're
go.
on charge of that.
There you go.
Find out.
My little tip to the
Go buy a
entire
case.
community.
You can actually just put vanilla on yourself too, that works too, so you don't have to go out and buy a Christmas tree
How
or
about if you
two.
just eat the chocolate chip cookies, they got them all.
I don't know if that will work or not.
This has worked for years, and my neighbor Mike Jones put me on it.
Oh, darn.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And they don't bother you at all,
No,
really?
I was watering some grass tonight, and they were getting me. I got angry, went back into the house, grabbed this, put it on.
And nothing.
No,
You don't get that kind of stuff from the Mount Vernon concert.
that's right. All kinds of life hacks here.
And I want to call the meeting to order.
Here.
Mike, Rick, John,
Here.
pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
No, go ahead, we just need to, we need to, yep, cross out 6
I'll
out. Now
make a
you can.
motion to delete item 6 out.
The motion, and with deletion of 6 out.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Public input, this is time and place for anything that's not on the agenda. For 10 minutes, 3 minutes apiece. Discussion and possible action in reference to tobacco compliance hearing. That's you, Shannon?
Yep. So council, you should have in their packet the notice that the city attorney sent out to Dollar General. On March 13th, we conducted tobacco compliance for all the retailers in town. Their employee ended up selling tobacco to a person underage. The employee was cited for a violation of providing tobacco to an underage person. Their employee pled guilty to that offense and was fined for that offense. After we get the conviction, the next process is the civil hearing against the establishment, which is what the city attorney sent notice out for to the Dollar General license holder. And we have not heard back from them. This is their time and date for their hearing if they want to contest the hearing. We have nothing to say, nothing additional other than that they pled guilty to the violation. If city council refuses to take action, the state takes action anyway. And then the state would recoup the fine. It's a $300 civil penalty that would be assessed against them, so.
So they've gotten this notice of first hearing from Mark already?
Yep, city attorney sent the hearing off, or sent the notice off. They had the opportunity, they could pay the fine and forego the hearing, have this opportunity for the hearing. We have not received correspondence back from them, so Mark recommended that we just proceed. If they don't show, proceed with the hearing and go from there, so.
Do we have authority to pull the permit?
It would probably go, yeah,
It's on the second.
yeah. What they'll do is they'll send notice, probably, Mark will probably send them notice again that the hearing was here and that, they had the opportunity, they failed to show, and therefore the city's imposing the $300 civil penalty, and then go from there, so.
Okay. Is that a motion?
Make a motion, we charge them $300 civil penalty.
A motion, a second?
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Hi.
They don't lose their license automatic?
Not on the first one.
I think it's second or
Second,
third
or you gotta
offense.
go back to the
Is it
code.
second? First.
Discussion of possible action to approve final payment to Dutch Brothers for work completed in the new pavilion.
All right, so this was, if you recall, we made the initial payment, that was for them to start the work. This is just the remaining, there was 2 payments of $19,000, I think $800. They were not completely done when it came down, so So this was the amount of money that they had done in addition to their 19,000. So it's shy of what the total bill was. We've been reimbursed through EMC. We already have the check in the account for what this is. So then probably the next meeting, we'll have an approval to start all over again.
Motion to approve the third payment, or final
Second.
payment.
You have a motion, Mike,
I got a question. If they, I mean, I have no problem paying for what fell down, but that wasn't a completed building. When you say final payment, you're telling me that
So
that's the final payment on the other one?
It's not the full payment of the other.
So you have a beginning payment and then the end payment. They're both the same amount of money, 19,000 and change, 19,100 I think it was, because it was 38,200 is the total. So this bill is shy of that 19,200 because it wasn't completed. So this is 10,000, so I don't know,
whatever it is, it's
10,000 something. So it wasn't completely done.
So we're not paying them.
So we're not-
Complete job.
We're paying them for the work that they did. We got reimbursed back all those costs, and now we're gonna start all over again.
we got reimbursed back all those costs, so do we get reimbursed 38,000 or do we get?
We got reimbursed 38,000.
So basically, we got, this bill's gonna cost us 38,000, and we paid them 29,000.
Correct.
Good.
I made a motion.
I second
I
it.
believe Sarah second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion possible action in reference to approving site plan for Family Dollar.
So this is a site plan next to Dollar General. Chris Wynn, I believe, is up on the Zoom call. He's one of the developers with this project, and then Dave is here. We did go through P&Z. Chris was finishing putting together the completed site plan with the stormwater mitigation. We had the P&Z meeting. P&Z went ahead and approved the site plan, accepting the driveway, accepting the parking arrangements as it was stated in the plan, as well as the sign that was presented. And then as long as all the other check marks were made on Dave's site plan and Dave approved, they moved to go ahead and recommend approving the site plan. So Dave's here tonight to talk about some of the things that he had on there.
Did I see that they want to switch to two driveway setup, or?
Nope. So the deal was with the driveway, there's two plots. It was plotted for one driveway. The reason why it was plotted for one driveway, and I think it specifically says in the plot, Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong with this.
Yes.
It does say that there's one driveway per the DOT, because that's all that they would allow. Now that this is a city street, it's open to this, and I know that we discussed this previously about that. So based on the justification of giving them a second lot is basically the change in jurisdiction, that it's a city-owned street now, and we can allow them to have a drive.
Thanks, Brendan. So you all have the site plan in front of you. For the most part, we've gone through and revised the site plan to address the previous comments that we had. A lot of that had to do with screening and some of the stormwater requirements and so forth. So Chris has done a good job of providing the information for that in short order. We went through that. It looks to meet our site plan requirements. There are a few things on this that I wanted to bring up. The east side of the lot, there's a county property that's residential. So normally in our requirements we have between the commercial and residential that the commercial property is responsible for providing a buffer. That house is quite a ways off. It's a pretty large lot. We would still recommend some buffer. They have put some small bushes along that lot line. So if that meets what you feel is adequate for that, I just want to bring that to your attention and make a decision on that, whether that's sufficient or if we would like to see fence or something that's a bit higher on that. So that should be discussed. Sidewalk is another item. This lot is quite a bit removed from any connecting sidewalk. So generally what we recommend in that situation is that at such point the sidewalk extends to this lot that they put in, and we just document that in some sort of an agreement. The parking that's proposed here is below our threshold in our ordinances. However, we've asked them to demonstrate that the number of parking lots, or parking stalls they're putting in would be adequate for the use, and it would be similar to what they've done in other locations with this store of this size. We don't want to over-design the parking lot and have too much service that never gets used. So as long as they can demonstrate that what they're providing is adequate, that's what we're asking for. The elevation drawings I asked them to provide, they did provide those. I don't know, were those circulated?
They're in that packet.
Okay.
This is in that staple packet. You guys have it, you guys.
The elevation drawing just shows the building materials in the color scheme here. What I did was went online, and the handout that Brandon gave you just before the meeting are examples of what they're proposing, which is the middle exterior. And then on the opposite side, you'll see that there's a little bit dressed up building that has the veneer and the brick on the bottom. And our architectural standards and our site plan do indicate that they'd like to see something more similar to the one with the masonry accent. So something that I just wanted to print out so you can see the two different examples and let you make a decision on whether you feel they've met the architectural requirements or if perhaps you want to maybe take a look at doing something more like this with the brick stripe on it. The lighting requirements, they do not propose lighting in the parking lot, however, they are going to put some wall pack lighting on the building and indicate that that is sufficient at the locations where it provides adequate lighting for the parking lot. The other item would be the driveway that we already discussed. So the plat for Hoosman indicates that lot 2 was supposed to access the driveway to lot 1, but that was when DOT had jurisdiction, as Brendan mentioned. So as long as we document, we made a decision that we allow the other driveway, the spacing looks sufficient. I don't see any issues as far as conflicts on business 30. As long as council is okay with that, we can approve that. So those are the comments that I had. If anybody wants to discuss any of those in particular, I'd be happy to do that.
I guess I'll go first. You said the buffer zone is, you know, it's a field right there to the east of that, and then the house that's way back there, and then the other one that was there. I really don't have a problem with bushes.
Maybe wrong.
My second thing is sidewalks. I don't have a problem with that, not having a sidewalk in there, just as long as they're under the agreement that if sidewalks ever do go out there, that they make a sidewalk. And I personally don't have a problem with one driveway. I don't know if I think so. Anybody else, anything for you?
I don't have any disagreement.
When do you guys start to plan on building?
Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, hi, Chris Wynn, civil engineer, with CJW Transportation Consultants out of Springfield, Missouri, representing the developer, which is Bridge Investment Group out of St. Louis. You hear me say Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, they're interchangeable. Dollar Tree owns Family Dollar. This is a combination store, which is actually going to have Dollar Tree and Family Dollar under one roof. So it'll have signage for both stores. As far as, I think your question was, when do we plan to start building?
Yep.
As soon as you guys give us the okay. I know that from the sounds of it, they've already mobilized to the site. They're ready to start, building construction as probably as early as next week. They've got to deliver the store by before Christmas. Is when this has to be up and open. Is their deadline with Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. So it usually takes them 4 or 5 months to get these open. So they're kind of ready to go as soon as we can get your guys' blessing.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Okay.
They got anything for Chris or Dave?
Well, I welcome Family Dollar and Dollar Tree with open arms.
I did attempt to reach out to the resident to the east and was not able to make contact, so.
And I think there's quite a big buffer over there that field.
Yeah, there's a long ways. I think like Dave and I talked about, maybe if it ever got annexed or they split it off into a lot and there was a house there close, we may have to readdress it. But one thing Chris did mention, with the parking lot and everything to the east, unless he made the fence right along the concrete, it's gonna drop off quite a ways. So if they put a fence in, let's say they put it 2 to 3 feet off the parking lot so the bumpers don't hit it, that fence, I think it's a 6-foot tall fence requirement, it's only gonna be 3 feet anyway because of the
It'll
elevation
be 3
change.
feet down and 6 feet
Correct, so
up.
that was one concern Chris had about a fence. He said he could figure it out, but, with the situation there, definitely across the back though, Chris, we want a privacy fence with that residence in the back, I think we already talked about that.
Yeah, yes, sir, yeah, definitely gonna put the 6-foot tall privacy fence on the, south property line. And to kind of echo what Brandon was saying is, generally we try to put the fence along the property line. I've got a 5 to 6 foot drop, basically from our curb to the property line at times of existing grade. So if I put that fence at the property line, you won't even see a fence, it'll be the same height as the pavement. I don't necessarily want to put the fence right up against the pavement line, because then you've got minimum width drive aisle there, and you've got bumper overhang on cars, so just because their tires don't hit the curb, doesn't mean their front end won't hit the fence. I don't mind putting it, a couple feet off the back of the curb, but what I find with that is then the back side of the fence, the last, the 3 or 4 feet on the other side of the fence doesn't really get maintained. They mow in front of the fence, and then what happens behind the fence is someone else's problem. I think the best bet there is a row of bushes. I think we've got 13 bushes there, which should make once they're fully grown, should make a nice buffer, at least take away some of the headlights that would point over there. The problem with trees is the overhead electric. There's an overhead electric line that runs right down that property, so about the time that they're nice, someone goes out there and cuts them down because they're in the electric easement. So my opinion would be bushes. If you guys prefer a fence or trees, then, we'll put in a fence or trees, but up to you guys.
Problem with bushes is you've got a couple, 3 years before they get tall enough to do any good.
And I understand that as well. So,
Same way with trees, it takes a while for them to
Fill out.
With trees, the headlights would still shine
Yeah.
underneath.
And
I like bushes.
I'm not gonna be putting in a 12-foot fence to accommodate. Okay.
The only other item that I wanted to try to get some direction on was whether the architectural.
I like the brick look, the mason, yeah,
I do too.
I personally like that.
And Chris, I'll send this to you, but this is just off the web images. It shows the brick on the bottom, about a 4-foot tall band of brick. around
yeah, I'm
the-
familiar with what you're talking about. I can go back and, I have to defer that to the architect and developer, but it's certainly something that they're gonna be familiar with. It's, it's not uncommon for them to have to go that route, so I will touch with Jeremy Duzan with Duzan Architecture and let them know that that's something that you guys would like to see some consideration on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and
Thanks, Dave.
like Sarah said, we welcome you guys with open arms. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Thank you.
Awesome, I appreciate it, and I appreciate Brandon and Dave helping us get through this process. I know we kind of got the cart before the horse and didn't really understand fully what your guys' site plan requirements were, but we've managed to work through it in the last couple of weeks, and I appreciate their help.
And actually, made a big improvement, just throwing some gravel in that lot, it looks a lot nicer already. It looks a lot nicer when we built it there.
Yeah, I did a site visit back in, it was probably fall of last year, and it was kind of just overgrown scrub at that point, so. It'll be nice, and it'll bring some tax dollars to the community, and, they usually have 3 or 4 employees on shift at any time, so it'll bring a few jobs and, give you guys another place to shop.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
I need for a motion for approved site plan.
Make a motion to approve the site plan.
I second that motion.
Got a motion and a second, Sarah,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Third and final reading of ordinance 02/2023 water rate increase.
Make a motion to approve the third and final reading.
A motion and a second.
Second.
A motion and a second, Sarah,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Rick, Mike,
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Third and final reading of ordinance 03/2023 sewer rate increase.
Motion to approve the third reading.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Nate,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Rick, John,
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
Approve resolution 15/2023 bond payment transfers.
This is just our annual transfers that we do to the payments. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christina, splash pad and dump truck, fire truck are done after this.
Yep, we do their final ones.
Do you have a motion?
Motion to approve the bond payment transfers.
Do you have a motion? Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Mike,
Aye.
Rick, John,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Approve resolution 17/2023 to hire summer help.
All right, so this is what we discussed previously about adding the 3 summer help kids. Last year we had Luke Zarnicki and Ben Morningstar, very good workers. They were paid $13 an hour. I would like to hire them back this year at $14 an hour. So they get a $1 raise, if you will. They'll work less than, but could work up to 30 hours per code as a part-time employee. And then the additional one would be Evan Coleman, and this will be his first year, so I'd like to hire him at $13 an hour. I just want to go through the list of things here that they're going to be doing this summer, and you're going to hear this list, and there may be a situation, depending on how the summer goes, that I come back and ask for one more, but anyway, I'm going to go through this. So we got the tree grant again, so we have 30 trees that are going to be going in here after the holiday. So they'll need watered daily. We have 15 graves that are going to need seeded, and then 15 others to address, so there's going to be a total of 30 that are going to be resolved this week that will need watered. We have 25 stumps that are not seeded yet, that are going to get seeded this week, and the right-of-ways that will need watered. Once this project, the water main project gets completed, you can see along Market Street and starting now on Washington, they're starting the seeding process of the backfilling of the curb. So there's going to be 40 blocks of waterway that we're going to have to, or 40 blocks of right-of-way that we're going to need to seed, or water as well. On top of that, some projects I'd like to see the yellow get scraped off the curbs and then painted again at the intersections for the no parking areas. Want to power wash the gazebo. There's going to be samples that need run down to the lab. There's some dugouts that need painted, weed eating, hanging door hangers as this project goes along. Mulch weed parks, playground areas, assist with that. We also have some equipment we need to install over Novak Park, and then potentially help close the pool periodically when needed. So that's my list for the summer help kids this summer. It's probably much larger than a normal year just based on the construction and the watering needs, and we're already getting dry, so.
With all this watering, how do you plan to distribute all of this?
So I have that down too.
Do we have,
So we have our buggy, and then we're probably gonna have to utilize the 409, the pickup for the fire department. As you recall, we kind of discussed about maybe potentially getting a new truck for that anyway. But we currently use that like at the cemetery to water stuff and periodically through town, so. I'm hoping to get 2 crews.
yeah, it sounds like you need maybe all 3 guys working on it.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but there's not a lot of lack of work right now. I mean, everybody's kind of pulling more than that's asked for to make sure we get all this stuff done, so. Happy to answer any questions.
So when they get done with all this, is that all gonna be hydro seeded, and then we just gotta?
Yeah, so you'll see up on Jackson Street from north of 4th, they've already started.
Okay.
And I don't know if they've done Market, yeah, I think they have, I know they have. Market Street from the Methodist Church down to the fire station is already done.
So the construction company seeded it already, right?
Yep. Then, of course, we're responsible for letting it grow and water. And then there is gonna be, just so people know, there's gonna be some stumps that are gonna be left after this week, so don't be alarmed. The stumps that are left, like over on Jackson Street, we're gonna go through there with the water main, so we're not gonna address those until after we would just be digging it up again, so.
The ones that are left are left for a reason.
Correct. But everything will get done this week. The city window shuts down the 31st of May for the DOT.
So,
You have to have everything in the ground by then.
so you're basically gonna take two of these guys right away, just for watering what we got up here.
Yeah, just, you know, we talked to Travis and talked to Drayton a little bit. There might be 2 shifts. Like a couple of them come in first thing in the morning, a couple may come in the afternoon. We'll just see how it goes. Travis has talked about getting another water cart going. So we're just gonna try to see how it goes. The one water cart now runs off the gator, and then we have the fire truck, so.
They use your grass rig.
Yeah. That's an option too.
What I'm just thinking is, do we hire that fourth now before it's too late? Or wait till we're desperate need for that fourth?
I'm comfortable getting these 3 underway and just see. I don't wanna sound the alarm or nothing. I just wanna explain that there's a lot going on, and, you know, I may come to you, and if I do, it's not because somebody's not working hard, or it's just, there's just a lot going on. So I wanna justify the reason for hiring these people, I guess.
Do you have more applicants to?
Yeah, we have,
File? Several?
there was like several, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, there's plenty.
Well, I mean, we could always approve to, him hiring the fourth and then come to the council with approval. You could hire him with our prior approval and then come to council and say, you hired the fourth one.
I don't have any problem with that, because you don't wanna lose a month,
Sure.
2 weeks, or whatever.
If we can make a motion that he could hire somebody with our prior
With his,
approval.
yeah, with his discretion.
For summer work.
And then he has to bring it to council.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that Brandon has authority to hire somebody, and whoever chooses to bring it back to us for approval. And if he needs to,
And approve these 3 on top of it?
yeah, approve these 3 on top, yeah.
I second that motion. I think that's good.
And a motion is seconded. Sarah?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Rick? Mike?
Aye.
Aye.
Alrighty. Set public hearing for zoning ordinance update for July 12, 2023.
It's actually June 12th, but.
I was just getting ready to put my glasses on too. June 12th.
So if you recall, this is for the shed in the front yard, front side yard. We were supposed to have the public hearing tonight. After reaching out to Mark about this, I think somebody had requested that. He thought it was a good idea to go to P&Z to discuss. So, and I should have the public hearing set prior to the P&Z meeting. P&Z's met, they're okay with it. So then afterwards, you have to set the public hearing, it's gotta be 7 days, so we would have missed the cutoff. So I talked to Mike Ryling, he was completely fine with this, because I did offer to try to do a quick special meeting at some point, but he said the builder is completely fine with this and to move forward with June 12th, so.
Motion to set the public hearing for June 12th.
Yeah, motion, or second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve resolution 16, 2023.
Nope.
No,
We took that part.
Correspondence,
nothing tonight.
city engineer.
I think Brandon already gave you a pretty good update on the water main project, so you can see from the end of City Hall what's going on just on the street. They got the intersection over here afterward. They're going to try to get the rest of that done here shortly. Get that open back up, get Market Street cleaned up. And then the well contractor should be coming in late this week or early next week, trying to get everything set up so they can get started on that. And that's all we got going on at the moment.
Anything for Dave?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public work.
I can cover everything during my.
First and rec.
Just a couple things. Soccer's finished up last week, our older age groups. and we started coach pitch today. We'll have T-ball starting on Tuesday, and then our intro program starting on Saturday of this week. Other than that, I've been working down at the splash pad quite a bit. We painted it today. I got a little touch-up work that I have to do tomorrow. I think the plan as of right now is to have that open next Wednesday, potentially earlier, but the plan is Wednesday as of right now. And then I've just been doing a lot of mowing and getting my fields ready for summer sports and things like that, so.
Soccer and T-ball, how many kids?
Soccer, we had over 150, I don't know the exact number.
Good.
Our summer ball, we ended up with like 130-ish, so.
That's pretty good considering we have a lot of football.
Yeah, our younger age groups, yeah, it's a good number, because we have, I think there's 8 between baseball and softball, 8 to 10 for travel, from 8-year-old up
Yeah, I was
to.
gonna say, there's a
13,
large
so.
group of kids that are in football.
Yeah, we only had 15 kids, 3rd through 6, sign up for Park and Rec, which is, it's more than what we usually get. We usually only get like 2 or 3, so, we got quite a few 3rd and 4th grade boys this year, which is good to see, so.
Anybody do anything? You're great.
Keep up the good work.
Get some sunscreen.
He could sew himself in that, but he's still looking for it. Who's Barbara?
Nothing beyond what's in the report, unless you get questions.
Alright, anything for Doug? Ambulance,
I don't know anything.
fire chief?
Did have a couple stressful calls this over the course of the last month. We did do one critical stress incident debrief led by Bob Russ. He's trained in that and does a really, really good job at that. So had that, and got our Lucas installed, and the sonar is going to be installed the rest of this week. They got most of it done, but they're hooking the batteries and everything up, so that's all I have there.
We got fire chief?
That was fire chief.
I haven't been anything for fire chief.
Oh.
Okay, city administrator.
Just additional on the water main, Washington Street's been nothing shy of a nightmare. The ground was pretty saturated out here, and we had to core it out, so you're gonna see a change order coming at the next meeting. There was no way to pour the concrete. It was very similar to walking on a waterbed underneath there. So they cored it out, put geogrid down. It'll be very, very solid, and we will not have any issues going forward. I'm very confident of that. There's also a drain system that they put in there that they're gonna run down the curb, down towards First Avenue and then back towards the fire station. I took some pictures, just so that we have everything, so. Also this week, they're gonna be tying in down towards the water tower. There is a brief gap in paving. Alliant has decided to do their gas project on Washington Street at the same time, and it's on the opposite side of the street, and they're boring underground, and they got a hookup connection. So instead of us pouring concrete and disturbing the ground underneath it, we're gonna give them this week and part of next to finish that hookups for their project, and then we will pave the rest of the way down Washington Street. I've tried to pass along as much as I could, garbage and mail anywhere along this route, just do what you always do. Put your garbage where it's supposed to be. Brecky has been phenomenal about taking trash cans out to the garbage guys. Mail, working with Cheryl at the post office, and we're working through that, but everything's going pretty smooth that way. I do want to give Brecky a shout out. I went down, they had a gas main that did get struck down here one night, and I seen 2 Brecky guys helping a guy carry groceries into his house. So kudos to them. They're going above and beyond, and they're leaving things cleaned up on the weekends. If I need a sign or whatever, they put it up. They've been really good. So I just want to give them a shout out.
That's awesome.
Sports complex, met out there this morning, got another meeting there tomorrow. You may have walked out there, the south side soccer field is not growing very good grass, so they're gonna be out there this week, filling in wherever there's a little ditch that's been eroded or what have you, and then they're gonna reseed the whole south side. They're not tearing up what's there, they're just gonna drill in new grass seed. So that's gonna be happening this week, and they're also gonna touch up the back of the curbs along the properties on 3rd Avenue. I met with YTT out there. They're waiting to get the plans back for the next phase. I keep bugging her to get rolling with this, so hopefully that'll come to fruition. And I did receive some $50,000 worth of funding was committed for the complex through that fundraising company that we approved the contract for. So that was their first one, and I'm sure that they'll announce that shortly. So that's it for there. Pool, splash pad. We had to do some concrete work, silicone work to the pool, so it kind of delayed the painting. The painting got done today. They're going to do some touch-ups tomorrow, and the hope is on the 30th the splash pad will be open. So it won't be quite the Tuesday, I think it's the Wednesday. We're going to try to get that open.
So the 1st, June
No, the 31st.
30th Wednesday.
30th is Tuesday.
31st would
The
be
31st.
Wednesday.
Okay, I believe.
Yeah, it'd be the 31st, yeah,
I'm
sorry.
gonna try for the 30th,
I was off,
30th,
yeah.
31st is what I'm gonna
Okay.
try for, so in worst case scenario, it'd be the end of the week, but if it's delayed, it's just, that's why. History Center, I believe today they completed that, so if you get time to go down there, they ended up with, I think, just 20 more bricks than they had budgeted or quoted for. I think all in all, it looks better than it did.
Yeah,
That it does.
So, if you get time, I did, there's a camera on the pole down there, so, I think they took some still images and stuff of the work, so they probably have a time lapse here shortly.
that's awesome.
I'll share that with you. Talked about leveling of the cemetery plots. At a P&Z meeting, as I discussed, had Board of Adjustment for 2 topics, nuisances, and I've had to address some no-mow-may situations. So they had signs in their yard and whatnot, so we had a discussion about that, and they finally mowed. Special thanks to the staff, including Brian and Drayton. Brian's, you just tell him to do something, or he asks what you need done, and he'll go do it. It doesn't have to be mowing. He's very good about helping out. He was over painting the pool today. Drayton stepped up to help pick up the slack for public works. So thanks to everyone for kind of pulling together and getting everything done. With that, it is our hope that Jake is back on Wednesday, at least in some sort of a part-time capacity, so that's good news. And I just want to tell everyone thanks to Seeds of Faith for allowing us to use the grass fields for T-ball again this year. They're gracious enough to let us do that. Other than that, nothing going on here. Any questions?
Do you want to do that thank you bit
Oh,
for
yes.
Travis?
There's a high school class that came over, picked up sticks on May 10th at the park. So I don't know who it was, but just want to give kudos to them for picking up sticks in the park and stacking them up, and then we'll pick them up.
Excellent.
Happy to answer any questions.
Who's that secretary talking
Anybody got any questions for Brandon? Christine, you got anything?
Working on a bunch of stuff, getting towards the end of the budget season, and getting back and refreshing myself with utilities on Marcia's absence, so a lot of fun.
Nate?
I have nothing today.
Right?
about?
All right.
No.
need more kids signed up. We got probably a little over half of them in the Lisbon zip code signed up so far. So if anybody knows a child that's under 5, they're eligible to get a free book every month until they are 5. History Center's got a new fundraiser. They've come into some old magazines that the owner would like people to enjoy and get some use out of. So for every $1 donation over there at the History Center, they can have one of these older magazines. Some of them are over 100 years old, about 60 or 70 different titles. So it's far more than they can have at any one time, so it'll keep changing as the magazines are sold. And they're open Monday and Wednesdays, noon to 3, and Saturdays 10 to 1. Thanks to Brecky and everybody involved with that project, and thanks for everybody doing that extra kicking in. That's what makes the community what it is. That's all I know.
Sure.
I don't have much. I would also like to thank Brecky for what Brandon has expressed tonight. They're doing an amazing job for what they've got working with, and extra special thanks to the employees who have stepped up, and teamwork, I guess, makes the dream work. That's all I got.
First of all, I want to congratulate Lisbon and the girls track team. Lisbon got first, I think the girls on the 14th, something like that, 15th. Great year. Congratulations to all the graduates from Lisbon.
I second that.
And that's about it. Alright. I gotta put my glasses back on. Possible closed session pursuant to code of Iowa section 21.5 LI to evaluate the professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered. When necessary, to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation and that individual's request of a closed session. So you go in closed session, Drayden?
Yeah.
Drayden City would request closed session. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
The motion to go to closed session. Do I have a second?
Second?
All, John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Rick? Mike?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.